Everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create your own habit tracker on Canva. So this is going to be a very simple and quick video. I also would like to ask you to leave a comment below if you like the third, second, or first tracker the most. You can get all of them for free if you subscribe to my newsletter that you can find in the description below. Okay, let's get started. So first step, we need the right size for a tracker, and I chose A4 for this one. Letter size is fine. It really depends on your planner. Most people will probably use letter size or A4. Now, to find some inspiration, you can just go to Canva and then just literally type in habit tracker over here. And then we can choose one of the templates that we like and then make changes to them. If you want to sell this, you will need to make drastic changes from color to font to everything. But you can still do that, and it's probably easier for you to do it that way. So just choose the tracker that you like or that I've created over here. We're gonna go ahead and start from scratch. So I like this tracker and I like to create it all black or white over here is because these colors then allow me to change the background really quickly. If I go to elements and I type in watercolor, for example, I can then go to pictures and I can just add a new color without having to change everything else. Obviously I can change the colors as well, but just for me it's nice to do it in one click, and then instead of one tracker I immediately have, I don't even know how many, so many. And for me it's also nice for my own personal use because I really like to use a tracker based on my mood. So maybe on Monday I'm a little bit gloomy and I'm gonna use something darker, and then maybe next day I feel a little bit more positive about my life and I'm gonna use this one. It really depends. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna just create a new page so you can see everything I do. Then here we can immediately choose the color that we want, or we can choose the background. I wouldn't focus it too much at this stage, and I would rather create everything else before I do that, for a simple reason, just because then I get distracted. So at this point I'm gonna make this gray so it really doesn't distract me, but it's also not white, so I know that everything doesn't have to be like completely white. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna click T as for text, and then I can add my text here. I'm gonna just type in habit tracker. To keep things a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna change the font a little bit. I'm gonna go to letter spacing and make it like that. This, I don't care if it's big, doesn't matter to me. So I'm just gonna do it like that. You can do it like this, but in this case, I'm just gonna add it like that. And then we need goal and the month if we want to, or you could have something else. So I'm gonna have day here instead of month, and then I'm gonna make the same one, and I'm gonna say my goal. So really, if you don't want, you don't have to add either. Then I'm just gonna move them around where I feel like they look good, and then I'm gonna select both of them and then just move them to the middle, so I know that they're both kind of in the middle. I mean, this one I want probably a little bit more space, so maybe I'm gonna do it like this, and then now I can move it to where I want them to be, like this. So I moved them to the middle and then to the side because obviously there's gonna be a line here. I'm gonna click line as we're speaking of it, so I just clicked L on my keyboard, or you can go to elements and then we have lines and shapes and you can click there. I'm gonna make this as thin as possible. This could be thinner, so I could be making it 0.5 if it lets me. Did it let me? No. I think it has to be a comma. No, it doesn't let you. Wow. Okay, it can only be one, sorry. And then I'm gonna drag it over here and move it here. Maybe a little bit closer. I feel like this is a little too high for me, so I'm gonna just choose both of them and use my keyboard to move them around. So here we have this part covered. Now we need a list of habits that we're following and tracking that month. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna make it bigger, because you can't really change the size after you do this, so we're gonna do it like that. I'm gonna drag it over here so it's nice and matching, and then I'm gonna just not care how I do them, just like that. choose how many habits you want to track. Then I select all of them, position, and I go to vertically. So here, I like to leave a little bit of space for myself. You don't have to, but I prefer that. Then on the other side, this is where we do the actual goal tracking. And then instead of circles, I'm gonna do squares. So again, I'm gonna click R for rectangle. And I'm gonna place it over here. Get a little bigger maybe. Okay. Like that. I don't know if this feels a little big, no? I'm gonna make it smaller. Yeah, one looks good. I'm gonna do it one size, then I'm gonna make multiple. So we need 7 because there's 7 days of the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this doesn't make sense that I say day because obviously the days are there. So I'm gonna say week instead. So it's gonna be a weekly one. And I feel like there's still quite a bit of space here, so maybe I want to make this bigger. But now, you know, I have to do this manually because they don't let me. And you could play with this, you know, it doesn't have to be all the same. You could move them around and create something a little bit more of a crazy shape. So completely up to you. I don't know if that looks good, let me know. So we're gonna do that, and then here we're gonna add the actual places where people would track. So now we can do circles or squares or whichever other shape that you want. So you will just choose this. I'm gonna go with the square, started with the square, so we're gonna keep going with this theme. And I'm gonna make it a little smaller than original. And then I'm just gonna add it here. So I'm gonna make it a little bit kind of in the middle of between these two. And I'm gonna also change the color to black. And now I can just drag and drop. So I don't worry too much, I just create them because I'm gonna change them anyways. And then make sure that the last one is centered and the first one is centered as well with that one. So here. Now I'm gonna select all of them. I'm gonna choose position and I'm gonna align them horizontally. So now they're all perfectly aligned. Then I'm gonna group them and then I'm just gonna drag this group down. So we have all of them ready for us. And now we're gonna do the same thing. So we make sure that the last one is exactly where we want it to be. And then the first one as well. And then I just select all of them and position them vertically. So they're all aligned nicely. So here we have that. If we want, we can make this black as well. And now we're gonna click here and we want to add some text over here. So there's one way to do it is to just click in the middle of the square and then I'm gonna say Monday. You can't see because it's black, so I'm gonna change this. You can also change the color if you want. I just think white looks good, so I'm gonna change that. Change all of them to white instead, but you could make them black and text white. So now I'm gonna click again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So again, you choose if it starts with Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. And now that we have this, I feel like this could move a little bit over here. And I don't know if I like this personally that much. I feel like it maybe looks a little bit unneat. So I'm just gonna make them all the same. Well, maybe the first one could be like this because there's nothing there. So we have this part. We can also group this and we can move it around a little bit. So let's say I like it here more. And now we can have the feedback part. So instead of drawing lines, I'm gonna just draw a rectangle. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna choose the white color. And then I'm gonna type in feedback over here. So feedback. And here we have the feedback, so we know, what we can improve, what our our goals can be tracked and stuff like that. So now what I'm also want to add is a little shadow over here to kind of make it more interesting. So I'm gonna add it here. And with this, I want to show you that even though you're kind of following the steps, you don't have to do it exactly, and you can really create your own kind of planner. So here, this is the probably final version. I think this could be a little bigger. I feel like the hierarchy was a little off. So now we have this, we have these ones, and now this is the look. Now we're gonna create a new one and create just multiple versions. So let's say I want some shadow that's behind this, so like this. I feel like it's a cool effect, and then I select it and make it a little less transparent because obviously it's distracting if it's too much. So like that, and then let's also choose watercolor and just go a little crazy and add some color to this, so we can then sell multiple ones instead of just selling one. So I'm gonna add this one, and with watercolor I do want it to be more visible, so I'm gonna do it like that. And this, and let's add one more here. So I hope that this is useful for you guys. If you have any questions, or if you would want me to create a different kind of tutorial, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next video. Bye.